You're listening to Puma Podcast.
18-year-old college student Jian can still remember the day she first had her menstruation. It was a regular, nondescript day of doing chores at home.
Nung grade 6 po ako, 11 years old po. That time po kasi is naglalaba po kami. Parang after po maglaba is syempre basa po yung damit. Nagpalit po ako. Pagtingin ko po sa underwear ko, hala may dugo po siya. Kinabahan po ako kasi sabi ko, bakit may dugo po? Hindi po kasi talaga ako aware po talaga about dun sa periods. Pagpunta ko po ng CR is nag-try po ako syempre na maghugas kasi baka po may sugat lang siya pero hindi po siya na ano, tuloy-tuloy po siya. Since we have sari-sari store po, ang ginawa ko lang po since nakikita ko po, naririnig ko po doon sa mga bumibili is kumupit lang po ako nung napkin sa tindahan. Inikot-ikot ko po siya kung paano siya bubuksan. Actually, yung pagbukas ko nga po parang sira pa po nung packet, nung lagayan po niya. Tapos din inikot-ikot ko rin po siya pagbuklat kung saan po yung harap, saan po yung likod. And nakita ko po dumidikit, tinry ko po siya idikit sa dingding. Ang isip ko po nun, since dumidikit, baka yun po yung dumidikit sa underwear. Finigure out ko po siya kung paano lang po siya gagamitin that time.
Hi, I'm Maro B. Enriquez, and in this episode of Teka Teka, we'll talk about menstruation. When a natural occurrence is shrouded in shame and silence, how can young girls have their periods with dignity? Every woman and girl has her own story about their periods. Some are amusing, others not so much. And there are experiences that are even embarrassing. Gian shares one such time.
Grade 10 po, nagkaroon po kami ng field trip and unexpected po na nagkaroon ako. First time po akong matagusan, yung nasa kabilang upuan po na babae. Buti po nag-offer siya ng jacket niya para po ma-hide po yung tagos. Yung time na yun, yung katabi ko po, ayaw niya pong dumikit sa akin.
For context, the person beside her was also a girl.
Lumalayo po siya to the point na nakipagpalit po siya ng seat doon nga po sa nagpahiram po ng jacket. For me po parang nakaka-frustrate po siya kasi syempre normal din naman po sa kanya na magkaroon po ng regla pero bakit parang ayaw niyang dumikit sa akin. Parang i-judge po nila ako pag may tagos po ako. Tingin ko po kasi is sasabihin nila unhygienic ko naman po.
Madel Landicho, an assistant professor at the Department of Anthropology in UP Diliman, affirms what the 18-year-old felt.
So, pag nagkaroon ka ng tagos, para siyang nagiging, nagbibigay ng kahulugan na, hindi maingat sa sarili 'tong babaeng ito, 'no? Kasi lumalabas siya na may tagos siya. 'Yan yung mga ganyang termino na ginagamit para sa mga babae. It's as if, um, malaking kasalanan mo kapag hindi mo na nakontrol ang iyong katawan o naipakita ang iyong katawan sa quote unquote dapat na state nito, 'no, which is 'yun, malinis, 'no, walang tagos, walang amoy, 'no? At kapag hindi mo nasunod yung mga bagay na 'yun, mapapag-usapan ka talaga.
It's not just the humiliation that can be too much to handle. According to 2019 World Bank data, 8% of Filipino girls have skipped school because of their periods, either because of a lack of access to menstrual products and good facilities, or the physical toll of menstruating. This phenomenon, called period poverty, often goes unaddressed.
There's that immediate notion na it's about lack of resources to support menstrual health, 'di ba? But it's not just about resources to help us manage menstruation with dignity, but it is also about accessibility, access to safe, affordable, and clean menstrual products, clean water and clean sanitation facilities, proper waste disposal, and I think accurate and appropriate information, and now more important than ever, supportive environments that that will not foster stigma, fear, or embarrassment among adolescents, especially girls.
That was Pebbles Sanchez Ogang, the Executive Director of Plan International Pilipinas, a girl-centered, community-focused, non-government organization.
Period poverty to me is also about unequal opportunities. If we look at education, ang batang babae kapag nagkaregla, usually may discomfort na nararamdaman, di ba? And because of that, baka hindi pumasok dahil may discomfort, di ba? Pagpasok sa school, nahihiya, natatakot matagusan, so baka hindi rin pumasok. It is not just about her present ability to succeed at school and in all of her activities, but it is also about um, issues on compromising her potential, her dreams, and her future.
17-year-old student Ivo admits missing class in the past and missing out on social activities because of their period.
Kapag po kasi nireregla ako, masakit po talaga siya. Yung sakit ng katawan ko, nasa likod siya. Tapos parang ang hirap tumayo, ang hirap umupo. Gusto ko nakahiga lang ako pag nireregla ako kasi ang hirap mag-function kapag may iniinda yung katawan mo. Pag inuutusan po ako sa bahay, ganun, sasabihin ko na, ay, masakit yung katawan ko ngayon. Or di kaya, kunwari, ako sa sarili ko may kailangan ko puntahan. Ayun, hindi ko na muna siya tinutuloy. Yung mga kapatid ko lalaki, ganun. Parang ginagawa lang daw excuse para di magugas ng plato.
Meanwhile, Gian finds it hard to focus in school when she's menstruating.
Yung concentration ko po talaga, maiksi na siya, pero tinatry ko pa rin pong mag-concentrate para, ang ginagawa ko po is nagsusulat po ako para po may matandaan pa rin po ako kahit na masakit po yung katawan ko, hindi po ako comfortable. Basta lang po may matutunan ako that day.
I reached out to the Department of Education to discuss how many schoolgirls miss school because of period poverty and how much is allotted for facilities for water, sanitation, and hygiene, also known as WASH, which are needed for menstrual health management. But they declined my request for an interview. I managed, however, to find its budget allocation from the 2025 General Appropriations Act. 500 million pesos for the construction, replacement, repair, rehabilitation of water systems, hand washing facilities, toilet facilities, and other health and sanitation related facilities in schools. We would have wanted to know how many facilities are actually in place and what kind of impact these have on girls' lives.
Itsura ng mga tubig sa mga elementary schools, for example, or high schools, may isang malaking drum. Tas yun na yung tubig. Hindi mo alam kung malinis, hindi mo alam kung pwede mo siyang gamitin para habang nagre-regla ka, lilinisin mo yung sarili mo in between pag-change ng pads. May period poverty rin ang isang tao, isang batang babae sa Pilipinas kasi walang budget within the infrastructure, yung pagbibuild na infrastructure para sa tamang access sa tubig, tamang access sa safe na ihian, sa safe na mga banyo.
You just heard DK Fontamillas. She's the campaign's coordinator of Power Up Girls of Save the Children Philippines, an organization focused on child rights participation and governance. Perhaps giving credence to her observation is a 2024 report on WASH in the Philippines by the Philippine Institute for Development Studies. According to the said report, inadequate access to clean water, clean toilets, and menstrual materials in schools worsens the experience of menstruating schoolgirls.
How serious is period poverty in the Philippines? It's a serious issue that is often neglected but requires urgent attention and sustained action. Period continues to create barriers to learning, participation, and overall well-being. So I've mentioned up there's mental and physical health concern because there's stigma, embarrassment, and fear of leaks and discomfort among others. And there's also the persistent harmful social and gender norms.
And speaking of norms, remember those sanitary pad commercials on TV? Madel, the anthropology professor, reflects on these.
Nakaputing-puti ka 'no, tapos bawal kang magka-stain. Dapat walang makakaalam na nireregla ka, 'di ba? Parang ikaka-proud mo kapag naka-white ka na pants. Parang yun ang ultimate ano, ultimate test na ikaw ay maayos na babae sa iyong katawan, 'di ba, na hinding-hindi ka matatagusan. So, imagine kung gano'n type ng mensahe ang idinidikdik sa utak mo, talagang mahihiya ka na pag-usapan siya o ipaalam sa mga tao na nangyayari 'yan.
Indeed, talking about menstruation can be difficult. Talking to one's parents about having one's period for the first time can be even more so. Jian, the 18-year-old at the beginning of our story, recalls panicking about how to tell her mom that she already got hers.
Hala, baka itakbo ko ni mama sa ospital. Nakita niya po yung pinagpalitan pong napkin tsaka yung pinagbalatan po ng sanitary pad sa basurahan. Do'n niya lang po ko tinanong kung bakit may gano'n po sa basurahan, kung meron na daw po ba ako. Akala hindi pala magpa-panic si mama, so hindi din pala ako dapat mag-panic po sa nangyari.
Ivo, the teen who had missed class in the past because of their period, had a similar worry.
Paano ko siya sasabihin sa magulang ko, ganun. Alam ko naman din na may mga napkin, ganyan, pero di ko alam kung paano ko sila i-access, like, bibili ba ako, meron ba? Saan ba nakalagay yung napkin sa bahay namin, ganun. Parang as a 12-year-old, parang ang big deal niya, ganun.
For families affected by poverty and inequality, it's doubly hard to talk about it. DK of Save the Children Philippines explains.
Na nakakahiya ang conversations around pagreregla. Yung family nasa isang masikip na space, imagine natin kumakain sila sa isang masikip na bahay. Nahihiya silang pag-usapan, madalas yung anything sexual or reproductive. Kasama na dito yung usapan ng periods. Sa isang masikip na household, ang pamilya ay nag-uusap about more practical things. So si tatay at si nanay, pagod na sila, nagtrabaho sila. Dahil hindi siya pinag-uusapan, dahil nahihiya silang pag-usapan around it, hindi siya nagiging nanonormalize.
So, paano na magiging normalized ang regla? I asked Madel, who is an instructor, for suggestions on how parents and society in general can teach or talk about it. And she believes that changing the established beliefs surrounding it begins with educating the young ones, especially those who are just beginning their journey in menstruating.
Ang kasama noon ay mga payo tungkol dito 'no, na parang, okay, so 'pag magreregla ka, ganito ang gagawin mo 'no, ito ang mga maaari mong gamitin, ito ang mga posible mong maramdaman. Pagreregla 101 'no.
It would also help if women no longer speak about their periods in hushed tones or hide napkins like it's contraband. Evo says they're not ashamed to bring out a sanitary pad in public.
Hindi ko siya itatago kasi normal siya na nangyayari sa katawan ko. So, kunwari pupunta ako ng CR, hindi ko tinatago sa pantalon ko yung napkin ko. Or di kaya, hindi ko parang, kunwari bubuksan mo yung napkin, di ba, plastic, maingay. Hindi ko siya parang dinadahan-dahan para hindi siya maingay.
As a student, they have found ways to normalize periods.
Meron kasi kami research ng grade 12, tapos yung naisipan kong topic, ayun, tungkol sa pagkakaroon ng regla. So, ang ginawa namin dun sa research na yun, naglagay kami ng mga napkin sa mga CR sa school namin. Tapos, tinignan namin ano yung magiging effect niya sa mga mag-a-access nun. Kasi gusto naming bigyan ng pansin yung issue ng period poverty.
Interestingly,
Yung mga babae, hindi po nila inaamin na gumamit sila. Kahit nauubos po araw-araw yung mga nilagay naming napkin sa mga CR, baka nahihiya sila na sabihin na nireregla sila, ganun.
over in Calamba, Laguna, another woman is doing her part.
Hi, I'm Carol May D. Villaluna. So, period positivity is my campaign or my project to help raise awareness for women and girls who menstruate and to give them access to menstrual health and hygiene products. Okay, I got the idea first when I was still an intern back in ABS-CBN News and Current Affairs under the show of Sir Atom called Red Alert, since it was a program dedicated to risk disaster preparedness. We always teach people how to pack go bags and yung emergency kits na in case may mangyaring disaster, bagyo, earthquake, that's the first thing you grab for your family's survival. And then I realized if you're already in that difficult situation, no, mid-crisis, and you're menstruating, it's like twice as hard for women and girls.
When the COVID pandemic hit, she saw the dire need for menstrual products once more.
Sabi ko, ayun na naman, no one's thinking of the women and the girls. So sabi ko, oh, I should donate feminine pads, sanitary napkins, para in case na, they can't afford or they don't have access during the COVID times, if they have the community pantry in their barangays or in their sitios, makakakuha sila ng libre.
Since then, she has done this project regularly with her own money, going to different sectors in her city.
One time, nag-donate naman ako during Brigada Escuelas. I printed stickers with QR codes that the pupils or the kids can scan, and then it leads them to the United Nations or dun sa organization ng World Menstrual Health and Hygiene Day para they have the proper resources. The positive change na gusto kong mangyari is education talaga. Educate the next generation na this is just a scientific thing or an anatomical thing that happens to girls and to women. Pero sana, dumating din tayo sa point na, you need napkins, na pwede na natin siya freely ipamigay, i-distribute, na wala na yung stigma. Sana, may mag-replicate din nung campaign ko, or at least nung pinaka-purpose nung campaign, is to give women and girls proper education and free access to napkins and other sanitary materials for menstrual health.
But Ivo and Carol are just two individuals. What people who menstruate need is a more stable form of support, which leads to the question, what is society doing? More importantly, what is the government doing? For the tech savvy, there's Plan International Pilipinas' Oki period tracking app, which has even won an award from the United Nations. Pebbles explains.
So since its launch in 2023, we already reached around 200,000 users, and more than 75% are adolescents from ages 10 to 19 years old. 200,000 is, relatively a small number as compared to the number of young people and adolescents in the Philippines whom we should be reaching out, no? That's why it's very important that we work with institutions such as the Department of Education. The app is supported by UNICEF, and we closely partner with local government units and community leaders and teachers and even families, so that we can popularize the app and the information within the app better.
Meanwhile, Save the Children Philippines has its Pamilya program. It is comparable to family development sessions that tackle the impact of adolescent sexual and reproductive health and rights on the lives of children. And similar to Carol's period positivity initiative, the NGO also provides menstrual products and privacy-related items in its Dignity Packs for disaster-affected families and individuals. Here's DK.
Karapatan ng kahit sino sa mga ganitong specific humanitarian emergencies ng mas dignified na mga gamit.
The discussion on menstruation is far from a perfect one, Pebbles says.
That's why it's very important that when we develop these policies, kasama yung komunidad, kasama yung eskwelahan at yung mga guro, kasama yung pamilya, at kasama yung mga girl and youth leaders. At the end of the day, they deserve dignity, they deserve confidence, and they deserve equal opportunities every day of the month, including those days that they have periods.
Dalaw, mens, period, regla. While it may have many names, the single fact remains. Periods are a part of women's lives. Hindi biro ang magkaroon nito. Kaya naman, ang hiling ng mga babae ay malasakit at higit sa lahat, iba yung pangunawa kasi ang mga bagay na ito ay karapatan naman ng bawat tao, may regla man o wala. Muli, ako po si Mara B. Enriquez and this has been Teka Teka. This episode was produced by Trisha Aquino and audio edited by Anthony Tobias. Subscribe to Teka Teka on Spotify or to Puma Podcast on YouTube. Maraming salamat po.